Okay, kiddies, gather around here. This is story time. Let me start off by getting down to your level here. Uh, First and foremost, this will be a three-part series. It's going to have to be. There's kind of a lot to talk about. There's a lot to cover. And I guess let me start off by saying that not everybody is one. When you are one, you fucking just know. There's no way to deny it. There's no way to say, nah, I'm not one. When you are. There's also a set of somewhat, or from my experience, there is somewhat rules and guidelines that you have to follow. Things you're allowed to do and things you're not allowed to do. So that part sucks. It, at least in my experience, it fucking does. I find it to be degrading. I find it embarrassing. And in my experience, it's been complete bullshit. And once you do a little bit of research and then you understand my situation, you'll understand why. So this is my experience as a twin flame. Now, I haven't done a whole lot of research about it. I have, but I haven't. I've listened to a lot of union stories, things like that. And most people don't actually find out that they are a twin flame or a counterpart until after they initially get together and then split, which is that's extremely common. On the twin flame journey, there's, I guess, a lot of learning that you have to do. There's a lot of self love that you have to do. There's a lot, and it's grueling. It is, I guess, heartwarming. Some people describe it as like one of in theory, it's supposed to be like one of the greatest love stories of all time. And not everybody is a twin flame. In fact, those that have come forward, they estimate or count by professionals, I guess, people that study this shit, that there's only about 144,000 of us. It's a small number, but also if you look, in theory, we're strategically placed in certain spots around the globe. And some people have described it as one of God's greatest gifts. And that in theory, we're supposed to be here to teach the rest of the human race unconditional love for each other. The good, the bad, and the ugly, so to speak. So I guess in this video, I'm going to kind of explain how I came about finding out, and the research, things like that I kind of stumbled upon, fell face first, and then it fucking hit me like a ton of bricks. Now, some research shows that most twin flames, one or the other, will have like a fairly troubled past. Um, they have most often somewhat similar paths of life. They kind of, a lot of times, they kind of come or grew up in different spectrums of the world, and somehow or another just bump into each other here and there, and then basically from there they never ever stop thinking about each other. So I can attest that's been pretty fucking well spot on, damn near. Um, so they they've also been described, or I've also understood that some of these twin flames, they're, I guess, stronger than they appear, smarter than they lead on. They have a very good natural intuition, which I don't know if I caught that one or not. um, which I find odd that I'm in a position to be a twin flame. If I'm supposed to teach the rest of the world about love, and I know couples that have been together for many, many years, they could probably be able to teach you more about love than I can. And that's not a joke. Um, so, not to mention, let's also throw out there that 98% of the shit that I say, nobody even listens to. There's very few people that actually listen. They hear me talking, but they don't fucking listen to what I'm saying, because they can turn around and tell me, well, why don't we try this? And tell me the exact same shit that I just said. I'm simply just not good with words. That's an undeniable. Everybody fucking that knows me knows that. I'm just not good with words. So I got that going for me too. So I don't know who the fuck I'm supposed to teach about what. So anyway, this is going to be it's definitely going to be a 3-part. I'm going to do this one, and then after this video, I'll begin explaining how I met my twin flame and things that led us up to the breakup and then up to now. So it may actually be a 4-part series. And I'm not really sure why I'm making this video. I just somewhat feel compelled to. I don't fucking know. So anyway, let me stretch back to after me and said twin flame broke up. I was pretty heartbroken. I really was. I loved this girl through thick and thin. We'd had our fights, we'd had our outs or whatnot, and there was a time in there that I actually wanted to break up with her. And she beat the shit out of me, flat out. She went to fucking pound town on my fucking face. She beat the shit out of me, and I fucking really swift. I fucking whipped her arm around. I fucking threw her down and sat her next to me, and I told her she needed to fucking stop her shit. I don't know where the fuck that came from and how I was able to do that. And that's not the first time that's happened to me in my life. And she immediately had a fucking asthma attack. I didn't know what the fuck to do. And anyway, it's I think we broke up in like May or June, sometime in 2017, right? And here's where we're in 2018. Somewhat cool spring evening, late in the evening. Fucking, after we broke up, I started fucking drinking pretty heavily, really fucking heavily. And actually, it wasn't after the breakup that I'd started drinking heavy. I'd been drinking fucking heavily before we broke up, and I'm not really sure why. Something compelled me to fucking pick up beer or alcohol or whatever, and it's pretty well against my will. Like, I fucking did not feel like me when I was doing that, And throughout many fucking years, I did not feel like I was myself. Throughout all the up to today, and I know why now. It's because of this. Um, and there's also other things in there that I've experienced that uh, make a lot of sense today with the knowledge that I have now, as versus what and I hopefully one day I can explain that stuff to where it makes sense. Um, anyway, we'd been broke up for more than several months. This is nearly a year later, whatnot, and I'd tried multiple other women here and there, trying to pick up dates, tried different scenarios, asking around, and I flat out got some kind of bullshit reason every single time. And even tried just sheer curiosity. I flat out, not gonna lie, tried picking up a prostitute just to prove to one of the guys that I was working with that I was literally cursed, that I'm not fucking allowed to do that. And he said, bullshit, try it. So I fucking tried. I got denied. How do you get fucking denied a prostitute? I got fucking denied. She pretty much said that she was out of order. That's embarrassing, in my opinion. That's really fucking embarrassing. Really fucking embarrassing. Anyway, I'd gone to sleep one night, really fucking drunk. I think it was a weekend, Friday or Saturday night, maybe. Anyway, the house that I was living in, practically flawless. It did not have a central air conditioning. It had window units, and I very seldom used them. As the heat, that house held heat really, really well. No leaks, no nothing. Toilet never fucking had to refill on its own. Never nothing. And then out of one of the fucking nights, and I'm usually a light sleeper anyway. I've woke myself up farting before. What the fuck was that? Okay, that was me, blah, blah, blah. But one night, random, and I know for a fact I went to bed shit-faced. I'd sat in the garage and I debated on a lot of shit, and I kind of cried. I'd watched a movie, and I fucking had my cigars, and I fucking sat there. I bet I drank a 12-pack. It was not uncommon. And I'd fucking gone in, I packed all my shit, cleaned everything up, and then I went inside, stripped down, and I went to fucking bed. And out of the fucking blue, the toilet refills. I wake up. I'm like, what the fuck? Did somebody just flush the toilet? What the fuck was that? And I picked up my phone and I looked at it, and it was 444. That's kind of an odd number. And prior to this, it's not uncommon for me to work around a lot of numbers. 300, 400, 500, 550 gallons, whatever. And all the way up to 800 gallons. And I remember thinking, prior to leaving this job and going to this one, before a girlfriend and I had ever split up or anything, it was like 220 gallons would flash upon the digital readout. And I don't know why, but I always had this feeling or thought in my head like, oh, one more 2 right there, and that would have meant something. Or one more 7 right there, 770 gallons. One more 7, that would have meant something. Fuck, I didn't know back then that's what it meant, that a repeating number like that, you're being spoken to. They're trying to get a hold of you. They're trying to show you, you need to look at this. You need to understand this number. By understanding these angelic beings, or I don't know, they like to speak through repetitive numbers. They love mathematics. They love speaking through that. And I can attest to that. To this day, I see a lot of numbers. I can pick up an envelope and you'll have repetitive 3-digit number there. And or 1212 or 1221 or 1111, things like that. So it's not uncommon for me these days, and I've gotten to the point where I've gotten like, oh, that's cool, man. They're talking to me, That following Monday, went to work, and me and the guy that I'm normally working with were working together. We get out, we park next to this curb. We get out. We look at this deal. We're not even there 5 minutes. Literally, maybe 2 minutes at max. And I'm always paying attention to my surroundings. So when I get out, I'm standing there at the footboard and we're talking about something. I don't remember what we're talking about. And then so we get out and I'm like, well, we can do this and then we'll run back and do that. We can double back and see maybe, I don't know. Anyway, I remember looking at the curb line. There was dirt, debris. There was nothing there. We're there. We look, pop this hatch open. We're looking at it. We kind of discuss it for about 30 seconds. So, okay, we're going to need this tool, this tool, this tool, and this tool. Okay, let's go back. We don't have these tools on the truck. We got to go and get them. So we're shut the lid. He walks around the truck and gets in before I even, get myself brushed off or whatnot because I laid down. And I'm like, oh, hey, look. I pick up a feather. It's a hawk feather. And I thought it was cool as fuck. I'm like, dude, check this out. I found this feather. So I sent a snap of it to another guy. And he's like, oh, that's fucking cool, And from that day forward, even to this day, I still find them all fucking over the place. All over the place. I can walk out the field right now, probably find 5 of them. And it used to be cool, and then it got to where it was annoying. And I guess to this day, it's still kind of cool. But he even said, even this guy said, from that day forward, even this guy said, like, hey, I've never seen I've been around a lot of people, but I've never seen more feathers in my entire life than when I get around you. And that day, I took said feather and we're walking in. We had like a 5-minute bell. Everybody's standing there and I had this feather in my pocket. And this guy comes up and he said, hey, you need to get that fucking feather out of your pocket now. I'm like, what? Go fuck yourself. Why? And he's like, I'm telling you, you need to get it out. That means a witch is watching you. What the fuck? No, don't want no witches. I am somewhat superstitious and I didn't want no fucking witch watch me. Well, lo and behold, me and this other guy here that I was with when we found the feather, we decided to go out shooting. And so we're out at this fucking canyon. It's way out in the country. It's 30-something miles. There's no reception back there. And we're shooting against this canyon, this Cleachy Canyon wall here. And we go up and we're looking at our shots. And I just had to fucking look down. There's a fucking rattler. Coiled up. Wasn't rattling. This far away from my foot is this fucking rattler. How in the fuck I did not step on this creature, I don't know. Because I must have stepped back and forth in that same spot several times looking at all these bullets. All these fucking bullets. And I was just like, look, oh my god, there's a fucking rattler, is what I said. And fucking this other guy's like, holy shit, he fucking pulls out his gun, he's shooting at it. It's a little .22 revolver. He put 6 fucking rounds into the snake. It was fucking wild. The snake never rattled the one time until after the first strike from the bullet. That motherfucker went ape shit. He was coiled up. He was fucking started raising up. He was ready to fucking strike it, whatever, wherever. He was ready to go. And so we're like, wow, we fucking killed that thing. And we're fucking talking about how crazy that was that we were standing right next to that motherfucker and it never went off. It's almost like looking for a landmine and you step on it and then later find out your footprint's right on top of it. Not even 2 minutes later. Shit you not. We're fucking digging around again. This snake is dead. We're going to leave it there. Fucking, better off left alone type situation. And we're standing there. We're looking at more fucking bullets. And I look down again. And I'm like, dude, holy shit. I fucking point down. This far away, I bet. Again, next to his fucking foot sits another rattler. Probably about the same size. And I'm like, and I flat out told him, I was like, hey, we kind of need to be cautious. This is the point after finding the first one. I said, my rule of thumb, where there's one, there's always another. Always. And that's been pretty fucking spot on throughout my life up to that point. And again, he fucking opens fire, and I fucking pull out my pistol, and I'm fucking opening fire, And Dude fucking went through all 6 rounds, and this snake is not dead. It's fucking damaged, but it is not dead. It's still ready to strike. I'm like, dude, let's just wait. Let me fucking pull out my snipe gun and let me fucking blow this thing's head off. From a safe distance, mind you. Nope, he reloads this gun right there, and he fucking goes to waylay, and he finally killed it. And we fucking sent snaps to the guy that told me that there was a witch watching me if I had had that feather in my pocket. Sure enough, I carry that feather with me to this day. And craziest fucking deal. And from there forward, I have seen nothing but white feathers, black feathers, hawk feathers, colored feathers, black and white, gray feathers, you name it. I walk out in the front porch right now. I'm sure there's a feather out there. I can walk out in the yard. I'll find another one there. And it's everywhere I go. If I go from here to fucking 80 miles away, I can look down and find a feather. It's not uncommon. Nobody else notices these things. And I've asked. It's like, hey, do you ever look down and just see a feather? No. What about this one? You notice it? Well, not until you pointed it out, you know. I've literally watched them fall from the sky, like from a distance, like, what the fuck is that? Is that a feather? And then I was like, yeah. And then I stop the pickup. And this thing's falling, and then all of a sudden it'll fucking just beep. Right there, right in front of me, land on the windshield. So I know at this point something's up, you know. And so I look into it, you know, your ancestors are blessing you, they're watching over you. A lot of different shit in there that has several different meanings, but the one that really stuck with me is because I just went through, you know, the year before losing my grandfather. And for me, he was one of the most influential people of my life. So I just thought it was cool at the time, and then it kind of got to the point where it was annoying. It's like, fuck, here we go again. You know, and you can't just go out and tell everybody this because they fucking think you're crazy, okay? This whole twin flame thing will make you go apeshit. And in fact, you will go apeshit enough that you will want to attempt. I mean, you'll be on the brink, and some even have done it successfully, committed suicide. And it's kind of a sad deal because there's no way out of this, or at least not to my knowledge. There's no way out of the twin flame. Once you're in it, you're in it. You're in it for life from the day you're born till the day you die. Once you're a twin flame, you're always a twin flame. You'll be blessed in certain ways as where you will not be, I guess, in others. I don't really know. That's just kind of my perspective, my view on it. So I see repeating numbers all the fucking time. I hear certain words all the time, and I keynote nowadays anymore. I know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about. And I first came across that after waking up and that toilet drained itself or refilled itself. And from that day forward, I remember at the time I was browsing YouTube. I would browse YouTube. I would fucking find a random 20-minute long video or whatever, and I would click on it. And for like 20 minutes nearly, it seemed like 20 minutes. It probably wasn't, but I saw something twin flame, and I'm like, oh man, that'd be kind of cool for like a rig name, you know, for my rig words. And I didn't tap on it. I ignored it. It's like, man, that's a cool name though, you know. So I kept fucking scrolling, blah blah blah. And here come another one, twin flame. I'm like, what the fuck is all this twin flame shit, you know? Like, another one, twin flame. What the fuck? I don't fucking type this shit in, okay? YouTube had a weird algorithm back then. I didn't know what the fuck any of this stuff was. And eventually I was like, okay, what the fuck? It's like, obviously somebody's talking to me. Somebody like felt compelled to click on this video, and it said, what the fuck is a twin flame, you know? So I click on it. And I was like, oh my fucking god. That 100% describes my entire life. Almost to a T. And that was all it took. That's what got it started right there. And from there I started doing research and found out there's only 144,000 of us. Some say that God has actually specifically placed us in certain parts of the globe in the world. It's not here in the US, it's other countries too. Some twin flames have met, both touring a fucking random country. They meet here, they split up. Somehow or fucking other, these people get a hold of each other from fucking thousands of miles away. They get a hold of each other after bumping into it and never sharing anything between them. They get a hold of each other and are like, hey, I can't stop thinking about you. It's like, wow. It's pretty fucking impressive. So, it's been a wild ride. It's not done yet. It's never done, actually. So with that, I'm going to get pretty close to closing this one. It's been long enough. And anyway, theoretically, it's supposed to be one of the greatest love stories of all time. It's one of, some people have claimed that it's one of God's secret weapons against evil. And that he has, or he created us for a specific use. And it's kind of like, you know, I could see that. I really could, because I think the world right now lacks a lot of love. They really do. We do. As a whole, as humanity, we lack a lot of love. We lack a lot of unconditional love. Look at all the drugs, the abandonments, everything out there that would lack love, give a reason to lack love. So with that, I'm gonna post this video, and maybe tomorrow evening, or tomorrow, I gotta drive tractor all day tomorrow, so I'll try to create another one, and I'm gonna try to stick them to around 20 minutes or so. At this point, definitely gonna be a 4-part. Looking at the time on this one, it's gonna be a 4-part, and maybe even 5. I don't know. I just feel compelled to make this video and explain. I'm not really sure why, but I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm still gonna do the rest of my videos. I really don't want to get spiritual with all this shit, because that's not my category. Never really has been. Don't feel like it's a strong suit of mine at all. So anyway, if you come across this on accident, I guess probably was meant to be. Stick around, see what else I have to offer. Thanks for watching. We'll catch y'all next time.